Good afternoon and welcome to Lariat TV News Today. I'm Meredith Aldis.
And I'm Caroline Waterhouse. Thanks for joining us. Human trafficking is a major issue in Texas, with the second highest number of reported cases in the U.S. after California.
Houston has the most trafficking cases in the country. Two Baylor professors saw the need to educate students on the issue. Our Christina Soto tells us why.
Human trafficking has been a major issue in Central Texas for years. Last year in Texas alone, there were more than 433 reported cases of what is now considered modern-day slavery. In McLennan County, there were more than 20 arrests for human trafficking and over 120 arrests for prostitution. Two Baylor professors, Dr. Christina Crenshaw and Dr. Lakia Scott, understood what a major concern human trafficking is and decided to do research.
This vision for taking the research that, or the curriculum that I had done out in California and to seeing it, whether it was reliable and valid and transferable, all these things that we hope as researchers that our curriculum is able to do so that we can encourage other classrooms to also use it.
In their study, they surveyed students at a local Central Texas high school where they found surprising results.
One of the common assumptions about human trafficking is that it's only sex trafficking, and so a lot of the students connected the recent movies taken to their experiences or what they knew about human trafficking. And so they weren't able to initially make those explicit connections to economics, to history, just this overall understanding that human trafficking is a modern day slavery issue.
Scott and Crenshaw want to educate students that there are several forms of human trafficking, not just sex related. There is sex trafficking, child sex trafficking, but there's also trafficking for tissues, cells, and organs, debt bondage, and forced labor. They hope through their research they can change lives of students and teachers through incorporating the 821 Bodies Are Not Commodity curriculum.
Watching the curriculum come alive, taking this Bodies Are Not Commodities curriculum, which was excellent, but then also watching them put that in juxtaposition with things that the students already knew. So taking prior knowledge and connecting it with new knowledge in order to give them a more holistic historical picture of slavery.
Reporting for Lariat TV News, I'm Christy Soto.
Tuesday evening, the Baylor Journalism Department hosted an exclusive viewing of the Smithsonian Channel's documentary, The Lost Tapes of Malcolm X. The showing featured a panel of esteemed researchers and communicators who provided insight into the life of the 1960s activist. Smithsonian Channel's Senior Vice President of Production and Baylor alumnus Charles Poe helped create the documentary. The 50-minute documentary centers around first reference documents, interviews, and recorded speeches that demonstrate Malcolm X's role in the civil rights movement.
Election Day is Tuesday and candidates are making their last stops on the campaign trail. One candidate visited Waco this past weekend to hear about the issues most important to Waco voters. LTVN's Riley Sievers has the story.
Huge honor to be here with you right now.
Just in time for early voting and days ahead of the primaries, Senate hopeful Beto O'Rourke is making his last efforts to mobilize voters in Texas. O'Rourke was in Waco on Saturday and held a town hall at Heritage Creamery.
Holding town halls where anyone of any background, of any political party or no political party at all, can come out and share with me their best ideas, or lay out their concerns, or the best case for the policies that they want to see, is the only way that I'm going to be an effective representative of the people of Texas in the U.S. Senate.
The most prominent topic at the town hall was gun control in light of the recent Parkland, Florida shooting. O'Rourke also talked about the importance of reforming immigration law and health care.
What if we decided that no one should be able to buy an AR-15? No matter how fun it is to shoot, its only purpose, it was only intended for the taking of lives, and we're taking too many lives with it right now.
O'Rourke has visited over 220 counties in Texas to make his case to voters. A key component to his campaign has been not accepting any money from the NRA or political action committees, instead relying solely on individual donations, which he said have raised over $8 million for the campaign.
I will always and only be listening to you, the people that I want to serve and that I want to represent in the United States Senate. And I could care less whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent, whether you can vote whether you plan to vote, whether you've already voted and you voted for Ted Cruz. I want to work with you and I want to fight for you, and I'm going to be accountable to you and only to you.
President of the Baylor Democrats Club, Jake Bridges, said they want as many Baylor students as possible to get out and vote in this election.
Baylor students, I know, aren't the most progressive in the state, but we feel like there is a lot of energy on campus, and we want to show that there's a politician who is willing to care and work for them.
Early voting ends on March 2nd, and the primary election will take place on March 6th. Reporting for Lariat TV News Today, I'm Riley Sievers.
The Baylor University Police Department hosted its annual award ceremony on Friday to recognize the work of various team members. Among the award recipients were Officer Tommy Huff, who was named BUPD Officer of the Year, and dispatcher Lindsey Rogers, who was named Support Services Person of the Year. Baylor Chief of Police Brad Wigtill presented the awards and said these individuals serve as examples within the community. Several promotions were also announced within the department, including Officer Scott Curry to Crime Prevention Specialist and Amanda Threet-Skeeler to Communications Supervisor. Wigtill said he was thrilled to recognize the efforts of the people serving the community.
Our favorite Waco couple just opened their first restaurant, the Magnolia Table. They hosted a soft opening just for close family friends, their employees over the weekend. The couple will be debuting their restaurant on their TV show, which will be airing within the next few weeks. Until then, we could not interview a Magnolia representative about the restaurant, but our reporter Christina Soto got a taste of what it's like to have a seat at Magnolia Table.
After months of construction, the Magnolia Table is now open for business. They maintain the same structural elements of the historic landmark, the Elite Cafe, but of course adding their Chip and Joanna flair to the establishment. To remember the historic landmark, they named their coffee Elite Cafe. At the Magnolia Table, you can enjoy freshly squeezed juices, coffee, and a wide variety of breakfast options. So make your way over to the Circle to see what it's like. Reporting for Lariat TV News, I'm Christy Soto.
Even though all university seeing ended on Saturday, Baylor students are still hard at work practicing for another upcoming show.
We've got more details on StompFest when we come back.
Just a school to me, it's home.
Home.
Everyone's there to help you and to see you succeed.
Challenging.
Like, I'm here, I can do this.
Friends.
Friendship.
Relationships. There's people that know you and people that are there for you around every corner.
It's the shared experience. Rigorous.
Growth.
Transformative. Tradition.
Faith.
I've loved every second of it. It's family.
It's home.
It's Baylor.
Tonight's event might just motivate you to rethink your spring break plans. The movie documentary Liberated, The New Sexual Revolution will have a free screening and panel discussion at 7 p.m. Wednesday at the Waco Hippodrome, and it takes a closer look at the sex culture young adults experience today, especially on spring break. Liberated is a story about unraveling masculinity and femininity in today's culture through the lens of a Panama City beach spring break trip. Dr. Sarah Jane Murray, an associate professor in Baylor's Honor College, is the executive producer of the film. Murray said the timing of the movie is important because it reflects the national #MeToo movement and the local It's On Us movement. A training prevention specialist in Baylor's Title IX office, Elizabeth Wellinghoff, said she hopes the reality of the documentary will help students realize the dangers involved and choose a different path.
All university seeing may be over, but preparations for another competition are underway for many of Baylor students. Collaborating with the Zeta Phi Beta sorority, StompFest will feature a variety of groups performing stomp and step routines at its showcase at 7:20 p.m. on April 6th in Waco Hall. Junior Lauren Boardman, the cultural chair and StompFest captain of Alpha Chi Omega, has high hopes for her group despite the style of dance being different than what they are used to. Ticket sales will benefit the national philanthropy of Zeta Phi Beta, and the prize money will be awarded to the winning group's philanthropy.
There was an exciting event on campus this weekend. LTVN's Meredith Aldis found out who was winning all of the medals at the basketball tournament, and we don't mean the Lady Bears.
I'm at the Heart of Texas Special Olympics on Baylor's campus, and these are my friends, and they just both scored 3 points.
The teams are from around Waco and formed locally through their community.
Some of the stations they're competing at is the chest pass against the wall, how fast they can dribble, and shooting at the hoop to make some buckets.
I really love basketball so much.
Each station has a point system and is divided by age and gender. The person with the highest number of points at each station gets a medal.
I got 4 points, 8 points, 7 points, 12 points.
Wow, you got a lot of points
Yeah,
today.
yes.
Wow, can I get a high five?
Yeah.
Good job, that is awesome.
Many Baylor students volunteered to help set up, run the tournament, and medal the athletes at the end.
People with special needs have the biggest heart that you'll ever meet.
The volunteers help the athletes, but ultimately the athletes impact the volunteers' lives forever.
It's literally my favorite thing in Waco because I came from out of state, not really knowing anyone, and they are some of my closest friends, honestly. It just means the world to me to work with them.
For Lariat TV News Today, I'm Meredith Aldis.
The Oscars are right around the corner. Comedian Jimmy Kimmel will be hosting the 90th Academy Awards Sunday night at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood, California. Lots of great movies, composers, and filmmakers are up for awards, but there are some that should garner special attention. Associated Press experts think that Lady Bird or Call Me By Your Name should win because of the deeper meaning that lies within them. For the award for Best Actor, the experts think that it's likely that Gary Oldman will win for his portrayal of Sir Winston Churchill, but that Daniel Day-Lewis could also take the cake. Experts suspect the Best Actress award will go to Frances McDormand, but Margot Robbie and Saoirse Ronan also deserve some recognition for their roles in I, Tonya and Lady Bird.
The new art gallery and event space Cultivate 712 opened its doors this year, and their designer showcase is currently attracting Wacoans to their downtown space. The artwork on display is from a group of local creative minds called PACT. The 7 featured artists in the designer showcase work with different mediums, from oil paintings to ceramics. Each of them applies various themes, shapes, and color palettes to express their views on life and nature. Many of the works of art are Texas-themed, including depictions of Texas fauna and flora, home life, and landscapes. The designer showcase will be on display at Cultivate 712 until March 1st.
6 Baylor athletes have received the highest academic honor the Big 12 gives out, the Dr. Gerald Lage Academic Achievement Award. Juniors Lindsey Bradley and Letitia DeSouza, both track athletes, juniors Jonathan Davis and Jake Lindsay from men's basketball, senior Victoria Griffin from the equestrian team, and redshirt junior Marcus Jones from the football team, all made that elite list. To be eligible, an athlete must have lettered at least once in their career, been at their school for at least 1 year, and must have at least a 3.8 GPA and 100 hours of earned credit. This year, 92 Big 12 athletes received that honor.
The Lady Bears captured their 8th straight Big 12 title on Monday,
while the men had an impressive win over Oklahoma on Tuesday. We've got sports coming up next.
It's home. Everyone's there to help you and to see you succeed.
Challenging.
Like, I'm here, I can do this.
Friends.
Friendship.
Relationships.
There's people that know you and people that are there for you around every corner.
It's the shared experience. Rigorous.
Growth.
Transformative. Tradition.
Faith.
I've loved every second of it. It's family.
It's home.
It's Baylor.
Scott Drew's Baylor Bears went up against the Oklahoma Sooners last night in the Farrell Center and honored their 5 seniors in the best way possible with a blowout win. The Baylor men's basketball team took down the Oklahoma Sooners 87-64 for an impressive showdown inside the Farrell Center, honoring the Bears' 5 seniors with a bang. Baylor honored seniors Manula Compt, Joe Lualichil, Nooney Omont, walk-on Jonathan Davis, and Terry Maston, who led the Bears with 23 points.
At the end of the day, I'm just glad we got the win, and I could provide whatever my team needed to win.
In fact, 5 Baylor players walked away with double digits in points, including Joe Lualichil with a nice double-double of 17 points and 11 rebounds to help take down the Sooners.
It really just comes down to the seniors and how we're able to
lead as a group, and then the team following behind us, and just everybody playing together and the ball moving and playing great defense, and just everybody just having fun.
I think first and foremost, they want to play well for the seniors and let them have a great last memory here. Again, you're just really happy as a coach for your seniors to play that well.
The team will look to carry on this great momentum and keep their seniors' heads held high for their next matchup on the road against Kansas State on March 3rd. For Lariat TV News Today, this is Elizabeth Tharp reporting. If the weather decides to cooperate, the Baylor baseball team will host Texas State at 6:35 p.m. Wednesday at the Baylor Ballpark. The Bears are looking to bounce back from their 2-1 series loss against number 11 UCLA last weekend. Right now, the Bears have 3 wins and 3 losses at the start of the season. The team will need to lean on junior outfielder Richard Cunningham, who has a 3-game hitting streak, and also look to sophomore pitcher Hayden Kettler, who had the best start of his young career against UCLA. He tossed a career-high 7 innings while allowing 2 runs on 3 hits. NCAA volleyball is changing a few rules regarding the challenging system before the start of the 2018 season. The new rules combine in and out and touching calls into one reviewable challenge. These calls have been the most challenged the past 2 years, but were 2 different challenges, causing a dilemma as one often affected the other. The teams will also be allowed to challenge 3-meter attacks to ensure that back row attacks are legal. Coaches will also be granted an extra challenge if the match extends to a 5th set. The NCAA Playing Rules Oversight Panel will be voting on more issues regarding recruiting in the future. The Baylor women's basketball team defeated West Virginia Monday night to complete an undefeated conference season and notch its 8th straight Big 12 conference title. But the win was costly as standout guard Christy Wallace was injured during the game and may miss some tournament matchups.
And I keep watching them laugh and cry and hug each other and care for each other. When you have a team like that, it's just something that a coach will look back many years down the road and go, that team blessed me. That team lifted each other up and lifted me up as a coach.
The Lady Bears will travel to Oklahoma City to compete in the Big 12 tournament March 2nd through the 5th. The acrobatics and tumbling team remains on top after defeating number 2 ranked Oregon Saturday night. The Bears beat the Ducks in every single event, winning the meet by almost 4 points. A team of 11 in compulsory toss score in the first 10, tossed a score the first 10 for the Bears this season. Kaylee Adams scored an impressive 9.95 on her solo pass. Hoping to continue its winning streak, Baylor will be traveling to South Carolina for a spring break matchup against Converse on March 7th. That's a look at Baylor sports.
And that's Lariat TV News Today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.